Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sporecyte's webinar series. This is episode 24, and we're really happy to have everyone here. It's quite a large crowd today, um, and we hope that these few minutes that we're spending together will help you with your businesses. Just a bit of housekeeping. You are encouraged to ask any questions at any time using the chat feature in your browser that you will have open. And we will get to those at the end. And everyone who signed up and registered for this webinar will be getting the recording just after, so you can review any of these resources after the webinar is done. So without further ado, let's go over a bit what we're going to be talking about today. I'll start off by just giving a few short words on Sporecyte, then go through a bit about why marketing matters. Then we'll dive right in, discover the Marketing Toolkit, how to use it effectively, and then at the end, as I mentioned, we'll have a Q&A. First of all, I'm Troy Bankhead. I'm an American, but I've actually been living overseas for a good many years. And I head up TechCyte's European office, but my main job at TechCyte is VP of Marketing, and that includes, of course, TechCyte, but as well Sporecyte. The mother company, TechCyte, was founded in 2013, and we are world leaders in artificial intelligence. And what we do is we take traditionally manual microscopy tasks in the laboratory, and we help to automate them and improve the operator's performance by being able to use artificial intelligence. Historically, we've been concentrated on airs, liquids, and smearable diagnostics, but as of last year, we broke into, in the medical realm, to the histology side of the laboratory as well, with Mayo Clinic. And our software today is used by labs, pathologists, doctors, vets, and last and definitely not least, our home inspectors. The company is, we have three verticals. One is animal analysis, another is the human, and then, of course, the beloved Sporecyte that you know, that does environmental analysis. And our lab for Sporecyte is AIHA MPAT, and we have our Texas mold analysis laboratory license. We are ISO 17025 accredited, and we're very proud of those. And our commitment to our home inspectors is to provide you the absolute best service that we possibly can. One of the recent additions that we added to our service is same-day turnaround and overnight shipping. And we're also very pleased to have participated in the development with one of our partners, Apicor, in it's a recent innovation in the industry that's been long awaited, and it's a better performing air sample collection device that is now for sale on the website, and we would encourage all of you to go check those out. Let's dive right into then why marketing matters. Now, for you home inspectors, I'm sure you already know many homeowners and real estate agents don't fully understand the risks of mold. And moreover, they don't quite get the value of mold testing. And this is where effective marketing can definitely help. One of the ways you can use marketing is in informing clients about the risks of mold by educating them, teaching them about allergies, asthma, respiratory issues. And we'll go into how you can do that in just a minute. You can also explain how mold inspections can protect property investments and prevent costly repairs. And you can also position yourself as a resource for real estate agents who need reliable partners to inform their clients. One great example of a home inspector who's educating his clients and real estate agents is Inspector Ralph. If you follow him on the social media, he plans training sessions for realtors, for example, on the importance and the details of home inspections. Another reason that marketing is important and why it matters is that it builds trust and credibility. Consistent marketing. And when we say consistent, we mean keeping in front of your potential clients' faces. It's called top of mind. And your potential clients could either be the direct clients, it could be the audiences that you can build in Facebook, for example, and it could also be the realtors. But in all of those cases, social media, email, brochures, all of those assets help build confidence in your services. It gives you social proof because you start collecting reviews, case studies, and shared success stories. Real estate agents will definitely recommend you if they see you as a knowledge professional, of course, because you make them look better at the same time. And so it's win-win. So, right, let's dive right into the marketing toolkit. If any of you have already visited the website sporecyte.com, if you type sporecyte.com/marketing tool-kit, it will take you to a page. In fact, if you click on the Pro Resources page and scroll down a bit, you can just get to the link, but I've also put the URL up there for you if you just want to retain it. And it opens up a new window for you. And there are tons of resources on this page. We've got social media templates, image galleries, marketing brochures, several email templates, blog posts. We actually built a website for real estate agents along with a brochure, and we'll talk about those in a minute as well. We've got a Sporecyte Inspector Badge. We've got free resources like websites, newsletters, and articles, as well as several previous webinars on marketing. So let's dive into how to use the various tools in our marketing toolkit effectively. Let's start off with the social media templates. On our website, when you click on access the template, it will take you straight into Canva, which we've introduced before. I won't go into how to use Canva in this webinar. We've got a previous episode that dives into that. But as you'll see here in the interface, we've got an example here. And as you can see by Royal Home Inspections, they actually took inspected by ACE. They took one of our templates and made a social media post out of it. If you look at the bottom of the Canva interface, you can see all the different templates that we've included. And as an added bonus, in the Canva template, in the Canva interface, if you click on that top left-hand button, design, and type, for example, mold inspection, you get all sorts of different templates that you can just plug and play and use with your own content on top of the templates that we've provided for you. And so the marketing toolkit is a great first stop if you just want to start getting regular on social media. Now, social media, probably the most popular for you is going to be Instagram and or Facebook, because that is the place where the homeowners are going to be spending the most of their time. And we also, incidentally, have another webinar that goes into how to build your audiences in Facebook and Instagram by doing things like lookalike audiences, by using the audience filters that are in these platforms to help you build your audiences. To help you with emails, social media, and even if you want to create other assets such as brochures, we have an image gallery. And that's also in the Marketing Toolkit online. It's just a zip file that you download, and it contains all sorts of images. But that's not all. Every job you go on, for example, Birdhouse Home Inspection Service to the right here, they took a picture of the pump in action as they were on site. And we would very much encourage you to get into the habit of just taking pictures. You don't have to include people to get approvals and all this kind of thing, but you can certainly take photos when you're on the job sites, and very quickly using the tools available, for example, with Instagram and Facebook, to make posts out of them. And you can add these images to your service pages, your blogs, and of course, like I said, to use for other marketing assets. Another marketing tool that's in the toolkit are brochures. Same thing, when you click on the link, it will take you to Canva, where you will see we've actually created a brochure for you. in Canva, you can mess with colors to make them closer to your brand. Here, we've got a company, True Home Inspections, who used Canva and ended up making a brochure that they can hand out. And this is a great idea because you can actually use these on the job sites to hand out, or use them for lead generation. In neighborhoods, you can do mailbox drops and things like that. Next, and probably one of the most effective other tools that you can use, are email templates. We have 2 email templates that you can use. And the reason these are powerful is because the way that we've structured them is to look like they're just coming from you. Very often people have real quick spam detection in their inbox, and they quickly get rid of marketing looking emails. But this one can look just like a letter that you've sent to maybe past clients, or real estate lists that you are able to get. Once you have that template, you can create your own either very basic template for sending these out and use any one of these emailing automation tools, or even in Gmail. When you click on the send button, there's a little arrow and you can do schedule send. So you can actually schedule emails to go out to your audience directly from within Gmail. You don't have to be tied to your computer when you send them out. And you can just build up drip campaigns where every other week you send an email, and you can prepare these in advance. And so some of the ideas that you can do with these is sending intros to everyone that you know, to let them know that you offer mold testing. You could send the why mold testing is important after inspection signups, but before the job, to encourage these add-ons. You can send the why mold testing is important to your past clients as well, to come and do a new test after a few years on the first inspection, just to make sure everything is still in the green. We also provide blog templates. Not all of you have blogs. They are an incredibly effective, even today, way of generating traffic, because blog articles are searched by Google. And when people are looking for mold inspectors, those very often come up high on the list because it's considered dynamic content by Google, which is of course favored in the algorithms. We've actually got an example blog post for you, but in your website, it's easy to create a blog section and then use ChatGPT for new monthly, weekly, whatever rhythm that you want to set to create your blog posts for you. You can then take the link to the blog post and create emails, which is more content for you, and send those to your mailing lists. And if blog, if the idea of creating a blog and maintaining it is a bit too high maintenance for you, you can also create shortened versions for social media posts. And there you can use the same tools, ChatGPT. If you get good at prompting it, it can do some short, pithy posts that you can use regularly in your campaigns. Another one of the assets that you have access to that's really powerful is we created a website for real estate agents. And the URL is sporecyte.com/real-estate-agents. And it's a big, long site that, well, not big, it's very digestible. But in a nutshell, it gives real estate agents all of the ammunition that they would need to then sell those services to their clients, which is powerful for you because it gives you basically an expanded sales force in bringing you leads. Alongside that, we've also created a brochure for real estate agents, which you can see here, that you can print out. You can bring it on jobs for both the agents and clients. You can leave in realtor offices. In one of our other webinars, we go over how to expand your lead generation capabilities by using real estate agents. And you can attach these brochures easily in emails whenever you're dialoguing with new contacts and people like that. They're really good resources to be able to spread. One of the other tools we have is the Sporecyte Inspector Badge. And this is a badge that we've created for all of our clients. This is an example of one website who's actually put it on theirs. It's beyondenergyllc.com. And they are one of our mold inspectors. And what these kind of marketing assets do for you is, again, give you street credit. It reassures your clients and the people that come to find out more about you that you do have these accreditations, certifications, and that you are associated with the trusted companies that you're going to be promoting to them. And alongside this, we have other resources, such as the marketing webinars that we've done in the past that go over some of the topics, such as building out social media campaigns, or how to actually create your HTML, or how to create emails for your marketing. And so those assets and these tools that I've just gone over here are the current contents, let's call it the current toolkit that we have today. It's not exhaustive. And part of what interests us is in continually improving the toolkit and the resources that we're able to give you. And so I'd like to encourage all of you to maybe just pop in the chat and give us any suggestions that you might have for adding content to the marketing toolkit. Now, I've talked straight through this, and I can see that we've got questions already. So I'd suggest that with the remaining time that we have, we jump right into the Q&A. And let's see, we've got one here. Mike asked, what is the maximum Gmail number of emails we can send? That is a great question. I'm actually not sure, although in terms of emailing, given the locality and the proximity, it would be an easy operation to create an email, set your list, and again, I can find out number of emails that can be sent from Gmail. In fact, I'll try and do this live right now. So it looks like with the standard account, you can send 500 emails every day. And so when you have a workspace account, which I don't think most of you will have, you could send up to 2,000 per day. And so I think, honestly, for anyone's mailing list, that should be sufficient. We've got another question from Rich, who asks, can I copy the blog material you have for use? And the answer to that is absolutely. We put it up there for that very reason. You can copy it and use it as is. You can reformat it, add, and modify anything that you wish, but we want you to be able to directly use these resources. Good. And on the blogs, with that content, that might actually be another idea for content in how to use ChatGPT to help you generate this content. Okay, I'm seeing here. Let's see. Okay, we've got a question. How often should I be emailing past clients about mold testing services? And what type of messaging works best? That's another good question, because one thing that is important in marketing is the balance between maintaining top of mind and just outright annoying people by being in their face too much. That balance is something that you need to feel. You can also use, if you're using any email automation tool to help you out, whether it be MailChimp or one of the others, they all have features in them that allow you to track things like open rates or click rates. The open rates are useful because it lets you know what percentage of your audience is actually opening or viewing your email. And that can give you an idea of how many are going straight to spam or to the trash, and how many people are actually opening. And so you can use those tools to give you a good idea. In general, I would personally say, given the frequency of mold testing services, it's not something that is, like impulse buys for retail marketing. It's a big event. It's not the kind of purchase that you can just keep in front of people's faces, I would probably say every 2 weeks, every month would be the maximum that I would do. Because what it does is it keeps top of mind without being too frequent. Let's see, do you have short commercials developed that can be added to our sites? If you go to the videos section of the Pro Resources page, we do have short videos that you can take and use. Mark asked, are there any strategies for getting homeowners to take mold testing more seriously before they see visible signs of mold? That's a great question, because we kind of need to reframe the discussion. The time to test for mold isn't necessarily when you see it, because when you see it, it becomes pretty much just a legal step to take to protect either the buyer or the seller. Because it's present, you need to just document it and officialize it. The most important time for a home inspector to inspect a home is when they don't see the mold. It's the hidden mold that's in the walls or in the crawl spaces or the attics that's not readily visible, but that it's still airborne, that creates the stories that you often hear of people, having long-term illnesses, asthma, and other things like that. And so it's more a question of getting homeowners to take mold testing more seriously because they don't see signs of mold. And when you inspect a home, the reason you're there to begin with is to provide them reassurance in the purchase. And so in that particular case, it's 100% advisable for you to be telling them that they need to add the mold inspection to the home inspection because there is no visible mold. So Norman asked, hello Troy, this is Norman, are there marketing materials for other audiences than real estate agents, let's say for property managers? Well, there aren't. And for things like property managers, there are lots of crossover strategies that you can use, but that's a great suggestion for a future addition to the toolkit and possibly even a webinar episode. So today we don't. We've just focused on real estate agents, but now that you mentioned that, it's a very good point for the property managers. Let's see, Jesse asked, are there any slideshow presentations or templates created on the site for us to use? We don't have slideshow like PowerPoint ones, but we do use them. And we could, in fact, that's another great suggestion. I will commit to us adding that to our toolkit. Let's see. There's a question here. How should I follow up with real estate agents after leaving brochures in their offices to make sure they actually refer to me? In addressing this question, I think I'm going to answer it a bit differently. Your role isn't to make sure that they actually refer to you. Your role in marketing is to make them want to refer you. And that's 100% relational. It's relationships. It's building those relationships. Hey, how you doing? Going and meeting them, or at least sending the kind of email that reflects your tone and your personality that connects with them. And the materials that you leave them, if they're professional and it makes them want to promote you, then they're going to do it. However, keeping in front of them, making sure you build that relationship, the effort that it requires is that relationship building effort. And it's the top of mind, making sure that when they have the opportunity, it might not be every day, but when they have the opportunity, that they think to promote you. Good. I'm not seeing any other questions come through. So I think that it looks like we've exhausted the questions. If there are any questions, in fact, sorry, one just popped up again. Jesse asks, how would we convince clients that the air sample is as good as the behind the wall samples taken by other professional companies? In terms of the air sampling, there are two different types. In fact, we offer three. We offer the air sampling, but don't forget that when you go to to the shop on the website, we also offer surface tape samples and swab samples. And so when you're talking about the behind the wall samples taken by other professional companies, they're using these methods as well. They're just going behind the walls to collect those samples. And you can every bit as well do that. The only difference being that the behind the wall samples, of course, requires you to get behind the wall in question. That's not always possible. The reality is that behind the wall and those more in-depth testing doesn't usually take place unless they're specifically searching for a problem, simply because of the, I don't want to say damages, but the intervention that's required in order to get into those spaces. It's a lot more in-depth than just on a normal home inspection. The service that we provide is really aimed at making sure that the air in the home and the basic state of the materials in the home is in such a state that it's not being projected out. And of course, the only way, even with any in-wall and everything, would be to test everywhere, which isn't financially or for time a viable solution. So don't forget about the swabs and the tape samples. Sorry, we've got more questions coming in. Karen asked, are there any free or low-cost ways to advertise my mold testing services beyond social media and email marketing? There are, but to be quite frank with you, the internet is an amazing tool, whether it be email, social media, or even PDFs that you're able to send. And there are other ways, like door to door, like doing, you can go to the post office and have physical, the mailers put in mailboxes. But all that kind of, let's call it guerrilla marketing, requires a lot more effort and time to get the same reach that you can get on social media and through email, and even through maintaining relationships via phone calls. So there are, but we tend to focus on these because they're just so much more effective. Raphael asks, what's the main value proposition of this AI-powered tool that can be communicated to clients? The main value proposition of Sporecyte is easy. For the home inspector, your value proposition is that on your visit, no extra time needed, very low barrier to entry to start providing the service. And for the client, the value proposition is to be able to put on paper in a legally defendable format. We've had cases that have gone to court and actually won cases from using our service. For the client, it's about reassurance. You're able to show them that the home that they're buying is safe. And the technique that we use is not just the industry standard, but it's the best in the industry. Using the AI means that our mycologists, because we still have a lab that performs these reads, it's just that when the human and the AI work together, for example, in traditional laboratories like our competitors, they can only, on average, review about 30% of any given slide, simply because it takes a lot of time looking through the microscope, looking for the organisms. It's just very time consuming, and it's not viable financially for a laboratory to spend the time that it would take. However, the AI goes and captures the entire sample. And so the AI plus the human can do a lot better job of detecting the mold in homes. And that service that you can provide to them is a very easy, and I say easy because all they do is pay you for the service. When they get their normal home inspector report, then the very next day, they can also have that mold inspection report. And why would someone want to get a mold test if they're not experiencing any signs of mold? Yeah, it's the question I asked earlier, or the question I answered earlier about getting people to take it more seriously. When you don't see the mold, that is the very moment that mold testing is the most important, because you don't suspect it. Of course, if you're seeing it, in your windows, in the bathroom, or in the crawl spaces, you have it. And then getting the mold test is pretty much required to be able to make claims on it. The danger comes for homeowners who are buying homes in the mold that they can't see. And that's where the danger lies, is not getting that tested, having that undetectable mold in the air that can affect people's health. So that would be the reason that I would, if our home inspector, be promoting mold testing, especially when there's not mold present. In fact, for every home inspection, ideally it would be just standard, because it would give the homeowners just that more reassurance as they buy the homes. Wonderful. Well, not only do I think that our time is up, but we've exhausted all the questions. What I was going to say earlier is, if there are other questions, because I see we've got a whole line of just various comments and things and suggestions. If we did miss one, I promise you we'll reach out to you and answer your questions afterwards. And as I mentioned earlier, you can all expect the recording of this webinar very shortly. Thank you very much, all of you, for the time that you spent with us today. And I will bid you all a wonderful afternoon from Sporecyte. Bye-bye.